as we get ready for our naming ceremony. I believe we have a special naming ceremony. This is something that is not taken lightly in our community. We have to be very diligent as to what we do and sharing our culture. But the Coyote chieftains have been around, I don't know for how many years, for quite a few years. My father is a big part of that organization, and Charlie Fox out there on the Blood Reserve, and Mr. Bob Tarlick here is currently the chair of the Coyote chieftains. And like I said earlier, they're a very prestigious group. They come from Prince Charles, was here in 1977. I'm sure my father could name off a whole bunch, but they are, you know, there's kings, they're from all over the world. And every year they have an induction, and I believe this year we'll be having another induction at our annual Indian Days. But today, what we'd like to do, with the help of Bill, if you want to come up. Yeah, and I need some assistance here as to exactly how we want to do this. Pete, Dr. Pete, if you want to come up now, I guess. So as I was saying, I think what I'm going to do, okay, yeah, always consult when you're not sure. So I do need you up here. You're going to, I guess, explain to our guests the reason why you wanted to do this for your friend.
We're going to give Bob Scott, Dr. Bob Scott, an Indian name tonight. And the reason that I selected Bob was because of the prominence that he has in Rotary and the good work that he's been doing for many, many years in the Polio Plus area throughout the world. Bob has traveled extensively, even of late. I know that Bob is leaving his position this summer and turning it over to somebody I'm sure just as competent. But we've had many, many successful years and great years with Bob in the chair position of the Polio Plus Committee. And it's certainly been important work for Rotary. And therefore, tonight, we wanted to honor Bob with an Indian name. Pete, maybe you can explain why that's a form of respect to someone who receives it.
The name-given ceremony, as they call it, I have given some Indian names. Bob Tarlick here, the ex-mayor of Lethbridge, I gave him his name. I gave him the name Many Horses, owns many horses. And one of the, like you just can't pick a name and give it to the guy. The names you pick is based on your achievements. In the olden days, it's the Kainai tribe has been attacked a lot of times. They have to protect themselves. So we also attacked a lot of other Indians that come around to our territories. And the Rotarians are very welcome to Blackfoot country. Akota is the name I gave to me, Tyler. It was based on, at one time I had about right around 600 head of horses. And that name was used by one of my relatives from way back, but I didn't use that. I gave the name because what I achieved in the horse business. Today I don't have that many, maybe 200. So
Bob, do you want to come up? Bring your wallet. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. We take Visa.
a bank card would be good. Just stand over here. About a week ago, my son Travis said that you have been selected to give this wonderful gentleman an Indian name. And after I learned who he is, it's a great honor for me. Giving Indian names is a little bit, sometimes you get, people will get after you. Who told you to give my grandfather's name away? So some of the names that I give, I created them based, like I said, on my experience, my achievements. So tonight, this gentleman will receive a name that is not being used. And as I've been thinking way back, I can't think of anybody has that name. But I guess most of you don't know, I raised bucking horses. And I've sold bucking horses all over the western United States. And one time we were taking some to Coyote, Wyoming. And they have a museum in Coyote, Wyoming. And most of that, what they got is Blackfoot stuff. And my boy, Fagan, was with me. And he went into that museum looking at Indian pictures. And he seen this one with the name Running Coyote. And when we got home, he named one of the coming up saddle broncs in my string. And that bucking horse, a lot of bronc riders have won money on it. He's a clean, he doesn't fight in a chute, he doesn't run into fences, he just likes to throw cowboys off. And those that stay always win or will be placed in the bronc riding. So, when I was asked to give this gentleman a name, I couldn't think of one. And then I thought about my bronc Running Coyote. So that is what this gentleman, I'm going to give him the name Running Coyote. In Blackfoot, it's Api Somachka. So today I'm honored to give a name to such a wonderful gentleman on the face of the planet. I heard he's been all over. So your name, Indian name, will be Running Coyote. Api Somachka. So if you can get some of these, write it down, yeah. So you can say it. And yeah, that's okay. You know, the Kainai chieftainship, a few of them are here. I've been involved with them since 1972, when a bunch of crazy Kainai people vote me into council. I've worked with quite a few of them. There's 40 living members. And the reason they get to be a Kainai chieftainship member, they have to prove themselves that they did great deeds for the Kainai people. So this gentleman has done great deeds for people all over the world. And I think Kainai chieftainship is looking for new candidates. And I think this gentleman fits it. And those take place at the Indian Days. I just like to mention this. A lot of my people and a lot of the white people don't know this, that some Indians lost their culture. They lost their spiritual ways. We never did. Kainai people never lost their spiritual ways, the powwows. It kept going. But most other tribes lost. Some of them still have the powwows. In Sheridan, Wyoming, I don't know if some of you been in Sheridan, Wyoming. It's a good-sized town. It's not a city, but I think it is now. Before the interstate highways existed, all main roads go right through town. And what happened, all the tourists coming through Sheridan, Wyoming, they just go right through the town. And the reason why was there's a lot of drunk Indians on the streets, and they're scared of them. So a group of those people from Sheridan thought, we have to do something about this. We losing all the tourist money. So those people came up with the idea of a powwow. It was called the North American Indian Days. I think it started in 1953. I was there in 1954. And I was those Indians that staggers around the street. I was thrown in the tank, and they let me out the next day. So, what those white people did, I think all Indian people should be very thankful for those people. What happened, there were some Indians from this reserve west of here, Brockett, we call it, Pagan Reserve. Some of their elders were there. The next year they had Indian Days. And within a few years, all 48 states had Indian Days. And all the provinces in Canada have Indian Days. And you see all these wonderful costumes that is worn by these dancers. It picked up. The beat workers went to work, and the young ones learned how to beat. And the headdresses these gentlemen wear, those are made by the Kainai people. So I just wanted to mention that that's where powwows start. And there are Indians that follow the powwow trail. And those Indians that do follow that trail, they don't drink. The ones that drink are the local Indian boys. We have them at standoff too. We still have them. But majority of them quit drinking. They never went to a treatment center to be detoxicated or whatever you call it. They did it on the strength of their dancing. That's what happened. A lot of people don't know that, but I was there. The Kaina people didn't have Indian days till around the late 60s, because we had our Sundance. That's the spiritual part of our culture. We never lost that. Some Indians lost their spirituals because it was outlawed by the government, and they used the churches to talk about the devil, the everlasting fire. If you're crooked, that's where you go. If you practice Indian religion, you surely will go there. So that has changed. I just wanted to let you people know that, so that those white people in Sheridan, Wyoming, did a great thing when they started the Indian Days. Thank you. I forgot something. Turn around here. See, when you give a name to an adult, you don't pray. You just give the name and you say to the people here are the witnesses of this gentleman's given an Indian name. And what they do is the elder will say, ask favors from this gentleman. He already has done a lot of favors. Oh, God, I'm not supposed to push you like
Thank you, sir. Thank you for my new name. And in honor of receiving it, I give you this gift.
Thank you.
All right. So, api sumachka. Api sumachka. Can you say it?
Pisumachta.
Hey, all right. Running Coyote. So thank you to Dr. Pete Standing Alone for taking care of that.
You know, all the bronc riders in southern Alberta and in Las Vegas, where the finals are held, they all want to draw Running Coyote. He was famous over there, because if they stayed on him, they're going to win.
Did you want to say a few words? Running Coyote?
I don't think I can spell it. I can spell the running. How do you go coyote? Julius, spell it? K. How do you spell the coyote? Thank you, sir. I don't think I have anything more to say. I think this is a great honor and a bit of a surprise. And I'm just absolutely delighted. I was delighted to hear the story of how the powwows started, and I'm glad that I'm been part of it. And I will carry that name around the world with me. And I'll let my own club and everybody else know, and my own band back in just north of us in Coburg, many of whom I've treated over the years. Sometimes for effects of, what would you call it, drinking or something of that sort? But mostly actually for delivering babies and things. So I've got quite a few Indian babies, and I'll now be able to tell them I'm a running coyote. Thank you, sir.
All right. So Bob Scott now officially has his Blackfoot name, Running Coyote. That's actually pretty awesome. If you don't think of Running Coyote, the words, you think of what the name came from. And the horse that my father is talking about is famous. And I've been to rodeos where that horse has been drawn. And like my father said, you either hit the dirt, or if you're fortunate enough to stay on, you're guaranteed to take some money home. So that's goodwill to Mr. Running Coyote over there. Good job. And Julius here was kind enough to spell it out for us. Okay, so I'll get this to you later. Then record it, then go to sleep tonight and have a dream of running coyotes.